Hi, this is Robert Bettinelli for MDEV Advanced iOS application 2023 summer, and this is my final project demonstration and run through. Should be pretty simple and quick, just to give you an idea of how it functions utilizing Swift and Storyboard. Just following along the application, we have our splash screen, which is just a logo and the title, and a button which has the segue to like an onboarding, which is like terms and conditions, with some terms and conditions that would be added later. Once you accept that, it would designed into a navigation controller, which then allows the navigation between the multiple sub pages, where it has a connect functionality, a playlist, and a settings. The connect functionality brings you to the site where it would display the record, have a play and stop button, and then it would add some information regarding the song and the group that is playing. The information then, once it is played, as it plays, would be then stored in our recycler or table view up here, which would then show you the group name, the song name, and the record. And you could review all the songs that you've heard in the past. And in the settings so far, I don't have very much. We have the clear listing. So let's say, for example, if your listing gets too long, or if you just wanted to clear it, see what else you're listening to, then you can clear your listing for now. There's lots of possibilities for future use. So that's the storyboard and the functionality of the application itself. Now I'm going to give a demonstration of the application, and then once we're done with the demonstration of the application, I'll go through the programming of the application. So I'm just going to run the thing, and you'll notice that the first page up is my online media title, a nice little logo, and a go button. When I hit the go button, it comes up with the terms and conditions, and some terms and conditions that I'd come up at a later date, depending. Once I go to go, it comes up with the menu system, which has connect, playlist, and settings. If I hit connect, it'll come up with a general page. You have to hit play. Once you hit play, it goes to the site, connects up the audio, and starts playing the audio. It'll then display the group name and the song, and it'll pull up the record details from a third-party API. Now, as it plays the song, every 30 seconds it'll go out, as you can see it down here, that it goes out and double checks to see if it's still playing that song, and pull the record information again if needed. So what it'll do is it'll continue playing. As the next playing starts, then it does the same thing. It'll go up and up. This is almost done in about 36 seconds. So we'll let it play for a moment. Let's just enjoy the song. Hopefully you can hear that. I'm going to have to check that. If you can, that's awesome. So a new song is going to be starting in about 13 seconds. And I'm only dictating that because I can see the server side, what it's doing on the server side as it's playing. Now the server music I have is called Mix, and what it does is it keeps track of one from another. So as you can see, the next song it's going to be playing is Aha Take On Me. So what it did is it went out, got the song information, got the record information, and automatically continued playing the song. And there you go. Okay, so if I hit stop, it'll stop playing. I can go back to menu, and if I go back to my playlist, you can see that Take On Me was playing now, and Hooked on a Feeling was the last song, and these are some of the songs I listened to previous, just during my testing. If I wanted to clear all that information, I can go to settings and clear my listing. Okay. that is the culmination of the application itself. There's a lot of stuff in the back end, and I'll be going through the programming in a moment. But just to let you know, to get the server side up and running, I have two different servers running. One is the ICE server, IceCast server, that actually sends the music to the internet, and I also have a Mac Mini that's running the Play software that just queues up the music and serves it to the IceCast, which then puts it out to the internet. So there's a few working bits on that. So let's go to my application. Let's stop this thing. And so I have a bunch of items on the left, which are my application. The first thing is my main, which is the storyboard, and the main view controller. There's not much in the main view controller because all it does basically is set the background function. And I decided to encode the background display rather than just putting a graphic on the screen, because then it makes it a little difficult to play with other graphics that I might want to place on the screen. So the same design is for that, as well as the OB view controller, which is the terms and conditions. The terms and conditions are actually shown on the screen, but the graphic of the record is placed on the background programmatically, so that you can play with the on-screen graphics easier. Most of the heavy lifting actually is done by the Play controller, which what it does is it has the group name, the song, the play button, and the cover art. And what it'll do is it'll set up the audio player, it'll set up the play button, it'll set up the refresh timer. The refresh timer, what it does is if for every 30 seconds, it'll actually go and fetch the song itself from the website. If I wanted to show you what the website actually looks like, it would be 192.168.50, yeah, that. So basically it comes up to this, and it'll pull the Aha Take On Me. So it actually gets an API for pulling that information. So that's where it comes from. This is my server on the inside of my network, but it's actually, you can actually get to it from the outside as well. But for demonstration purposes, I'm just showing you that that's kind of like where it pulls it from. All right, anyways, so it refreshes that song source data every 30 seconds. And right after the song source data, you'll notice that once it pulls the song source data, it'll also go and fetch the cover art. And once the cover art is actually pulled, then it has to split the group name and the song name separated in order to determine that cover art. Because the API itself for the cover art, and I'll go through this in a second, it can only search by group and artist in order to, or the song and the track, group and track, in order to try to determine what record it is. And so I'll show that to you in a moment. And then as far as once it's got the song and the cover art, then it does reset of the title. So what it does is it starts showing the display on screen, where it'll set the name on screen, and then it'll set the cover art. Now the cover art, depending on whether it's available or not, whether they have a spacer GIF or whether they actually have cover art, it'll actually display just the basic graphic or the cover art graphic. But it looks like I've checked all of mine, so all the graphics should come up as far as the cover art is concerned. Then it actually starts storing the song. So once the song and the cover art come up, it'll start storing that information. So I have a number of songs. I've got SD, which is actually the source data, which is the JSON for the song itself that was pulled off the website. It'll also drop the cover art in there as well, which is listed as SC for cover art. So this is where it keeps track of the number of songs and each of the details of the song data and the song and the cover art itself. That's where all my table view comes up with. And the nice thing is that it actually does a check to see Since it goes out every 30 seconds, what you want it to do is go out the first time and then add the song because it doesn't exist. But the second time in 30 seconds, because the song's longer than 30 seconds, it's going to actually check to see if the song already exists on the list as the last one, and then if it already was added, then it won't add it again. So that's a good feature, because you got to think about that. You don't want it listing it 5 times during a 5-minute play or whatever. All right. Then as far as the rest of it is concerned, it's just handling the audio player, whether you hit pause or whether you hit play, and then switching the graphic itself from the pause to the play button, or whether it jumps back, that kind of thing. Okay, now I've got my IceCast model, which is actually where it pulls its audio stream. This is where the JSON view, where it actually gets the list of the song itself and how it pulls the song in, and then splices it apart to determine where it is. So it goes and gets the API information from that. The other one I was going to show you is the cover art model, which is where it actually goes and gets its cover art. And the API listing is right here, where it actually has to get the artist and the track, and you also have to encode the track and the artist in a specific way. So up here I have to take care of removing spaces and adding pluses in, and then I also wanted to remove exclamations and brackets and special characters like that. Otherwise it's never going to find the cover art. I had a little hard time pulling the cover art from the site, so that's what this does itself. I also added a few extensions, which are kind of neat for pulling the cover art. Since the cover art was from a website, you have to add an extension in from pulling it from a website rather than having it added to the assets. If I had all the cover art in the assets, it wouldn't be a problem, but you can't do that. You have to pull it from thing, so you have to pull it from an actual site. So that's what my extensions do. As far as constants, I have a number of songs set as my constants, just to allow me to keep track of number of songs within the thing. And then I have my settings view controller, which is just the reset button and how to remove all the defaults. So that's pretty much the entire thing. Oh, and the other thing was my struct for my JSON. So in order to do the song source, I had to actually mimic the song source fields exactly that I'm pulling from the site, or else I'd come up with an error. So this is my song source, and the song source has my response for my song data, which songs in, and the cover art. And then I have my ICE stats API, so I had to pull my ICE stats, which is actually a bunch of different structs that have to actually go together. So it's very it's linked in a specific way. Has a lot of data in there. So I had to build all the structs in order to pull the JSON properly. Otherwise, it would error out. So I think that's about it. And everything else works properly. It was a very detailed application to go through, and so if you have any questions or comments, I'd be happy to review them. It was very detailed. It took a long time to put together. I was thinking that it was due on the 18th. Obviously it wasn't. So here's all my information. I hope you enjoy it. If you have any, like I said, if you have any further comments or questions, please let me know. Have a great day, and that's my project. Hopefully I get a really good mark.